Hello, hello, and welcome back to Password. We're slowly trucking through this day, and we're here with some very good boys. Very, very good. Yes. I puffed out my chest in pride before I saw Sal start to make movements. Where are you going?
Fried chicken is something I can cook. And cook well. If nothing else, I'll offer to help Orlando with that for the rest of the day.
He's already made up his mind, it seems, and followed Orlando into the kitchen. Tyson followed suit soon after, mouthing at me pumpkin bread before flashing me a thumbs up and heading into the kitchen as well.
Well, that's exciting.
Dinner, or...
Just seeing the mood shift upwards, I was worried we were going to be down in the dumps.
I flashed Dean a quick smile, but it faded fast as I thought about tomorrow. It was going to be a big day. A lot of things had to go right, and there was still a worry I had that things could go horribly wrong.
Dave.
Huh? What?
Don't worry. I don't think anyone has forgotten, but try and focus on other things for now.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting the audio levels real quick. And I do not need this window open. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a great situation, but all of us know that. We'll get through it one bit at a time. All right?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
How about you go find us a board game and bring it downstairs?
Huh? Why?
Would it be bad to just spend the day down here, right? Give Roswell the space to recover, Oswin the space to work, plus we're all keeping together, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, any preferences for what game?
So long as it's something we can all play, we should be fine.
I rushed upstairs with a notable spring in my step, but stopped dead in my tracks as I went to make a move for the cupboards with games. Oh, okay. Roswell was sitting there, dazed, and seemingly out of it. Thanatos, on the other hand, was seemingly waiting for me to arrive. What's going on?
Come here. Roswell's got something for you.
I shuffled closer to see exactly what Thanatos was referring to. As Roswell was sitting in the beanbag, he had one hand cradled in his lap, with the other resting beside him, holding something that looked very familiar. Wait, that's... His hand was on another medallion, this one with a prominent letter V with the ends all curvy. More importantly, shouldn't he be in bed? Like, great, he found a medal, but... Dave, you need to get out of here. His fingers flexed around the metal disc, just a little, but his overall grip was slack? Yes.
What?
Dave, Roswell struggled to lift the medal, breathing hard. His hand was shaking as he held it out for me to take. He's about to... It was a trap, and my fingers barely brushed the metal before a sharp pain in my skull made me black out. Things were going so well. Things seemed to be taking a turn for the better, as much as it could be, but Thanatos had decided to knock me out again. He's been doing it more lately, and it was starting to mess with my understanding of what exactly it was I was meant to be doing in any given moment. Questioning if I was awake or asleep, plus dealing with the disorientation afterwards and the immediate pain at the start. The only constant thing I knew was that whatever I was about to see, I wasn't going to like. No, okay. Okay, so I did it right before the end of a thing. Don't look at those. Don't look at those. Don't look at those. No, don't look at those dates. Yeah, okay. We'll click here real quick. Okay. Actually, what not data. Not data. What am I thinking? Config? Skip. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ah. I guess we'll just, I remember reading in the patch notes, I think. Could be making this up. That, there wasn't going to be too many differences between the days anymore. I don't know. Oh, okay. Then we'll know that you've been through this all before, and I'll treat you to something nice. Why was that one? Okay. The heavy arm around me half pinned me in place to Dean's front, and I struggled with the prospect of either getting up to get coffee or staying comfortable with my boyfriend. Another growl from my stomach made my mind up, and I gingerly moved Dean's arm so I could slip free. The moment I wasn't against him, though, he reached out to grab something to replace me, and I slipped my pillow into his arms. There was a moment where I thought he might wake up, but the dopey smile on his face as he cuddled into the pillow told me he was still thoroughly asleep. Leaning over, I kissed him lightly on the cheek before I got out of bed properly. Okay. I assume this is going to be a lot of just skipping things, you know. Ah. We'll go to the kitchen group first this time, right? Because Dean is there. I nodded slowly, and not really liking the idea of my boyfriend heading out there by himself, but if anyone can do it, it'd be him. Oh, okay. I assume that's in response to, like, going outside to do, like, the foraging. Alright, probably not a bad time to check in with the others. See how they're going with the sword or whatever, right?
Feel free to let them know. We have the food situation under control. If it's one less thing to worry about, better that they know sooner rather than later, right?
Oh, that looks a little loud on the levels now. Oh my god. I'm really bad at figuring out how to do this shenanigans.
But if it was only bolted down and not welded down, we could remove it, right? Nothing important, really. Haas and I were talking about family, or trying to.
But Tyson kept chiming in about his brother.
Was not. Haas, what was the last thing Tyson said about Dave? Haas.
Tyson. Sal?
Dave. Anyway.
So he said you were pretty dumb sometimes, but he loves you anyway, Dave.
Dude!
I guess I love you too, Ty.
Thanks. You two are very strange, but I suppose that's just what brothers are like.
That's a cute interaction. No. I've already checked in with the others, so I figured now's a good enough time as any to see if I can find Benson. Speaking of, they have the food situation under control for what it's worth.
He hasn't shown up yet.
That's a surprise. I would have thought we'd have seen him by now, at least with how present he's been lately. Need me to relay a message, or?
We'll be fine, I think. Though if we struggle, we'll call out.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is... Okay. Haas seemed to know him, and more importantly, was relaxed around him. But why? As he stepped forward, I noticed the gun tucked in the back of his pants, and I looked once more to Thanatos, who just shook his head. Benson seemed to notice too, but only tensed further. Okay. We're just going. We're just going. Oh wow, this was a long conversation, wasn't it? So now that we have like, we've gotten to know 3 bears. Who's your favorite bear, everyone? I'm a little partial to Liam myself. I think he's good. Of course, I like Dean a lot, but Because, it's Dean, and he's a cutie. As I stretched, I realized I was leaning against something warm and pillowy. When I groaned, a familiar voice gasped in surprise. "You're awake!" "Dean? Where am I?" He looked me over, seemingly ignoring my question. He checked my eyes, a frown forming on his face, as he seemed to touch everywhere except my nose. "Dean?"
"You're in my room. Our room. I brought you up here after Thanatos told me you were, where you were."
"Oh, yeah. Okay." I groaned as I sat up, and Dean held his hand on the middle of my back for support. "How do I look, by the way?"
"Even with the amount of blood on your face, like one handsome hyena, if my opinion is worth anything."
He continued to rub my back, and nodding slowly.
"But you'll feel better after a shower or something to eat."
"What time is it?"
"Not as late as you think it is, but you did miss dinner."
"Oh, so I must have been downstairs for a fair bit."
"You've been upstairs for a while, too. Thanatos said you'd been fine. Though, I didn't trust him watching over you while you collapsed on the cold floor."
I'm gonna sneeze. Probably. Oh dear. No, that's not a sneeze. That's just, like, pain. Fuck, I hate when that happens. Ah. Because now that sensation is just... Where's the tissue? I'll try to... Wait. Okay. He leaned over and kissed me on the cheek, rolling off the bed to wander around to the other side to help me up too. "You kissed me, even covered in blood?"
"If only you... It's only your own blood, and there's not that much, really. But it's enough you should get a shower, and so you can at least,
As he turned around, I grabbed him quickly by the arm, frowning. "When I was unconscious, I had a thing. A Volt thing."
"Someone's going to die again?"
"No, not that. Just, I saw you, and you were there, and you had a gun, and,
Hey, now, slow down. What happened?"
I was injured. Stabbed, maybe? Bleeding pretty bad, but I was running away from Jack, I think. The last thing I remember was you being there, and you had a gun, but then I passed out after that."
This is sounding very involved."
I let his hand slip from my grasp, and felt confused. Not worried or threatened, just confused. Dean placed his hand on my shoulders, and looked me over again, unsure.
"Did you want me to stay? I was going to get you a sandwich, but I could stay if that's more important."
"No, it's okay. I'll have a shower. Plus a sandwich probably would do me some good." Dean didn't budge, instead just sitting there, watching me carefully. "What?"
"Nothing else on your mind?"
"There's one other thing. Just what's going to happen in a couple of days. It didn't sit right with me, but all we can do is wait."
"What did you want to do?"
"Escape would be nice, but..."
"We can't. We didn't know the way. We didn't know the way out. Or at least one that is an alternative to the main road."
"Right."
"Get cleaned. I'll get you something to eat, and we can talk it out in the morning with the others, after we've gotten some rest."
I chuckled, sheepishly hanging my head. "But I've just been asleep for hours."
"And I know what my hyena looks like when he's exhausted. Don't worry about it. Just recover first, and we'll go from there."
Dean was back before I had gotten into the shower. Really. And I greedily swallowed down the peanut butter sandwich he came back with. All he did was laugh and usher me into the bathroom the moment I'd finished swallowing and waiting for me by the door until I was done. I was clean and could breathe through my nose normally, but with something in my stomach, and the heat from the water taking the aches away, I found myself collapsing into a mass of a bear the moment I stepped out. In a daze, I was carried and put to bed. Then Dean came to lay down next to me, and started to drift off. The last thing I could feel before I drifted off was Dean cuddling me into his side, and a gentle kiss placed atop my head. Okay.
Good morning, handsome.
You're up early. I sat up in bed, seeing Dean having just finished putting his pants on. You didn't want to cuddle?
Normally I would, but after yesterday, I'm a bit worried about.
His smile faded as he trailed off, wandering over to the window and looking outside.
Guess I couldn't sleep knowing that they might come back.
Even after you were told 2 days?
I think that being told that is 2 days has made it worse. What if it's not 2 days? If it's sooner, we'll be caught off guard. If it's later, then we're going to be constantly wondering why the Mafia isn't coming back.
But what if it is 2 days?
Then we were lucky.
Dean, are you okay? Really?
I just want to be doing more, that's all. I miss being able to freely go and enjoy the greenhouse, or even just looking at the forest for the edge of the yard, or even going to the hot tub.
Dean growled, throwing up his arms briefly.
The hot tub, Dave. Hot tub!
Well, at least there's a chance for the hot tub soon, right? Once we get off the mountain, we can go somewhere that has one and just,
I know, it might seem silly, but the hot water has always helped with stress. I feel like I'm more stressed than ever after meeting Dom.
Because he was a bear, or because he was in the Mafia?
Both. It doesn't help that he's bigger than me and has a gun. What do I have? I'm just a woodsman.
I'd say you're more than that. I get out of bed, stretching. Okay. For starters, you have me, but I guess you also have Sal, Tyson, and others. Plus an axe. Dean grunted, shaking his head before settling his eyes on the window. I wouldn't worry about it, Dean. If anything goes wrong and we're needing to head into the woods, you have us covered. I'm sure of it.
Thanks.
Do you feel at least a little better?
I really want to go sit in that hot tub, but I do feel a little better. Thanks.
What are you thinking of doing now, then?
Sit outside with a cup of coffee and an axe, probably, just in case.
Just in case?
You're welcome to join me, but I'd rather you stay safe inside.
You're worried about me?
Of course I'm worried about you. So I want to keep you safe.
I wander over and gave him a hug, him wrapping his arms around me in kind.
Now let me finish getting dressed so we can head downstairs.
Once we made it downstairs, Dean kissed me sweetly on the cheek, and I watched as he wandered out the back, leaving me to head towards the kitchen. Okay. Oh, this conversation. The fun conversation. Or at least I think it's fun. Maybe it's just because it's Thanatos, and I think all Thanatos conversations are fun. Because he's a good boy. Ah, he looked around, sizing me up. It was a quick smile, but he flashed me one to test my mood.
Just us, the Holloway brothers. We'll go get some... Holloway, yeah. We'll go get some ice cream or something, like the last time or whatever.
Might have to consider letting me bring my boyfriend along for the ride. He wasn't listening, already shaking his head, having decided how things were going to go.
Fine, whatever. Point is, it'll be great.
I don't know. It could be just a little family vacation, right? You don't always need to bring your boyfriend. Before I could get a word out, he had his arms around me in a tight hug. He starts to rub my back, and I hugged him back, breathing out. Part of me knew what was at stake before knowing our lives were on the line, but holding Ty like this and having him hold me back really cemented it. Oh man, we go.
Oh. Don't worry. Your boyfriend will be fine.
Oh, okay. So he acknowledges that, okay. Ah. End of demo. Okay. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. We will return to title. Big Bear. Look, Dean is cute, okay? Okay? I'll see you around, everyone. Wait. Oh, no. Oh, no, where's my mouse? Fuck you. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.